Remembering empty Coolamons was a ritual process dedicated to the stolen generations of Australia. A Coolamon is a wooden vessel that Aboriginal people have made right across Australia, and it's used to carry food and bush tucker generally. It's also a cradle for newborn babies. So the symbolism of the empty Coolamon being the empty cradle of the children taken during the stolen generations. The process of remembering the empty Coolamons involved creating a circle, creating a sacred space, and I used the colours red, black, white and yellow because they represent the 4 races of the universe. The outside of the circle was enveloped by a snake. I've often used the symbolism of a snake as it's the universal symbol of healing, and the 2 little lights at the entrance to the sacred space. So once again, I've worked with the elements earth, fire, water, air and space. So people were invited to participate in this ritual process by making a Coolamon, a little clay Coolamon, decorating it and then presenting it to me. I then added the Coolamon to the installation. Sometimes I had the time in the process to make a Coolamon myself. I'd put that Coolamon in the space and dusted it with the ochres, and then I'd pick it up and place it somewhere else so that there was a stencil effect of where the Coolamon was but was no longer. And they represented the children who were stolen, who never found their way home, who were lost and just gone into the ether. So this provided people with an opportunity to do something, to show how they felt about the many generations of Aboriginal children who were forcibly removed from their families. As the day went on and the little Coolamons were added to the circle and added to the circle and added to the circle, each Coolamon represented a child who was taken. So the numbers of children who were taken started to take on a mass, and then that mass becomes the stolen generations. I didn't really interact with anybody other than the time when they gave me the Coolamon. And so many times people gave me the Coolamon with tears in their eyes and just said, "I'm sorry." And I heard parents explaining to their children the meaning behind what was happening. And I think therein lies a potential for a more reconciled Australia. One time a little girl had made 4 little Coolamons and gave me all 4 at once. And I said, "Do you want these to be placed together?" And she said, "Yes, definitely." And they were staggered in size. One was quite large down to each one becoming smaller. So it was such a symbol of 4 children taken from one family. And these things did happen. And at the same time too, there was Ros Gregg and Jana Stewart on the sidelines managing the public and encouraging everybody to make Coolamons and making it look easy and telling people what it meant and telling them how to do it and showing them how to do it and managing probably about 12 or 15 people making Coolamons and being very, light-hearted and jovial about it. And it was no coincidence that one of the people was Aboriginal and the other one was not. It was important that both people were seen to be collaborating. By the end of the day, the circle was full, and in that there was a sort of sense that the whole was greater than the sum of the parts, but it was so many little parts. So many little children were represented in that circle. The work itself was up for only 3 days, and then it was gone. There's a real magic in something that's there and then not there. There's a potency that lives in the ephemeral that can't be achieved in any other way. It provided people a vehicle in which to say sorry without the blame and the shame and the guilt, but an actual clean act of saying I'm sorry.